But in any case, this is I filled the folder up with some music things and trying to learn some of the notes and still trying to figure out things and in regards to the flute and Christian music and all that. And it's going forward. So this is some of the things that I've looked into. And I think there's a great possibility of actually making Christian games, non-violent Christian games, that could actually be very fun. Now, one of the applications is Flute Master, and let's see if we can actually, where can we put this over there? And I just have the light version, but you can actually buy the product on the Play Store, and before 2 hours you can then return the thing. The thing is, I have a tin flute, and this is not for the tin flute, but I still have this program because it's the concept is incredible nice. Let's see here if we can. Where's the sound here? Option sound. There we go. Sound effects. Yeah. So it does have a dragon and all that, and of course we know, But in any case, but it's not totally non-violent, but you could go in that direction absolutely on this. And the thing is, you have this story about these bats. So again, not totally unviolent, but you could still figure out something that would be game just to try it out. And I found I could get to level 7. And at level 7 you hit a low note that is not on the tin flute. So, but besides that, it actually worked. It actually worked pretty good on the tin flute, and I could see the possibilities. Now you have the dragon up here, and then the notes come, or the bats come flying. Okay, the bats comes flying over here, and then you let's see. Click on these two hints. Okay. Wait for it. Don't forget to. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So play. But again, it's just what's happening here? Well, you need to hit the tone, and I don't have a. Oh, well, maybe I can actually. Where's my flute? Yeah, maybe the flute will help. Let's see, it should be the tone B. Okay, 2 seconds. Just need the flute. Okay, let's see if it works now. See here. The microphone couldn't. Oh, I'm recording. Okay, yeah, of course. Oh well. So maybe that's why it doesn't react. But anyway, the idea is that there's this dragon, and it will blow fire in the different holes, and it depends on what sound it is. And I bought the version of it, and in less than 2 hours I came to level 7, I think it is. And there's one note that I think it was, or maybe it was level 8, but in any case, you get to a note where you pretty much can't do anything. But very interesting game. Sadly, I can't show what's, but yeah, very, very interesting concept. It really has, you could make a great Christian game with the tunes from the, for example, Christian tunes, scriptural tunes. It's, you could make an awesome game and actually make it non-violent. you just need to have a fun. And the thing is, the game was fun. It was actually fun to, I sat here 1 hour and 45 minutes, and actually my fingers pretty much, it was pretty, when you go on playing for so long. But I only had 2 hours, so I had to, but it was fun. It was actually very fun, and it worked. That's, and you're sitting there and playing the flute, and just. So another one is the music crap. And it was in regards of learning A, B, C, and I still have a long way. My mind is not, there's a lot of other things to learn: Hebrew, Greek, German, Aramaic, notes in regards to sound, and my brain and history in regards to true history and research and the Bible, of course. And my brain is pretty much blown. It's totally overworked, and has been overworked for years, literally years. I remember when I was in Israel, like the first time. That was the last time I remember actually having a break in the brain, where I was out on the Jesus trail. I remember I was getting I felt like my brain was beginning to work a little again. Not feeling yeah. You walked and walked and walked, and so anyway, that's like 2 or 3 years ago. Anyway, this is another game, and this is actually pretty much non-violent. But it's only have 24 levels, and it's just too little in regards of learning the notes, and I still have issues. Again, it will come at some point, but we can take a level here. Let's take level 6. And then you get a piano, and you have this crab. Now, of course, the crab is an unclean animal and all that. In regards of making it a Christian, like, you could use other things. But anyway, so it's A and A, and then you go to G and A, and then C, and then B. No, that was not A and G. Okay, and you can hear the sound as well. You could make a great where is A? Go and there. Wow. If you get 3 wrongs, you pretty much lose. And then let's try again. And you actually can go back here and let's see here. Options. Now I have it on really slow, but you can have it on fast, and then and it goes a little quicker. Let's just take level 3. That should be a little easier. But yeah, I'm a little tired here. But the idea is, you need to fix those notes. And there you go. Pretty much non-violent game. And you could, I see the combinations of these games that, there's really some possibilities for non-violent games that are still fun. If you can make it fun to learn things, it's just much more fun. It makes it much more, that you want to go on and learn more, because it's fun. So you forget it's tedious in some sense to learn, because you want, it's just... So that was pretty much the 2 games, but of course you didn't see the. I'm just getting a little tired here. Again, sadly it was the wrong flute, but I guess if one got the true, a real flute, you would probably quickly get the hang of it. But again, I think I have enough to learn. I feel so it's. But I guess the flute is probably not that expensive. But in any case, I have some other programs in regards to the flute. Space Note is a violent game in regards of aliens and so forth. But I have it at the moment. It's yeah. Well, we can have a go here. Play. It's in France or something like that. Okay, brain is not working that good, so sorry about that. But feeling somewhat tired. The problem is it takes those notes that is also and I can't remember all the notes. Okay, it was a B. Okay, so that's an A. No, that's a D. Okay, that's should be F A maybe. No, F. Oh, okay. It's not going pretty good. Not going that good for me. There we go. Okay, so that's okay. E, yep. Okay, and then we get to this. I do wonder. Maybe that's a T. No, but B. An F. So you shoot these aliens and all that. That's pretty violent and all that. Was that a B? No, that was a C. And you have these lives and all that. I can't remember. I literally, I can't really remember anything at the moment. My brain is pretty done. Should be E. Okay. Now we have a B. What do we see? Was that a CS? No, that was a. Maybe it's a B. Yay, B. And you need to pretty much be quicker than and these aliens gets quicker. There's some other alien, whatever. Let's see here. F A. The problem is usually A and B is actually over here. So it's just But I guess at some point it will be second nature. In regards of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I just need to, I don't need all the rest. I need this thing here. And that's pretty much it. Was it C? No, this was B. Yeah, okay. A maybe? No, C. Okay. Yeah, but B. Yeah, okay. And A. And that's a D. No, that was a E. Okay. C. D. Was that was a C? No, that was a B. Yeah, okay. A maybe? Yep. Okay. So that's pretty much what it is, Again, a violent game, and I actually had installed it, and then then I pretty much deleted it again, and then I installed it again because it does, it does show the. This is not going to be good because it's too quick. I'm going to die now. Because now it says 2 and this is pretty quick. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, I'm not that good at it and all that, but at least it was one of the games that, and I've, that was, helping you to learn, a little here and a little there. Then we have Vivas and Complete Music Reading Trainer and Music Theory Helper and Cornelius Composer. And Cornelius Composer is the same that have made the Flute Master. So that's actually very interesting. So I actually did first, today make my first song in the application, and it is actually. I did find a free application actually that is open source, but actually going for Windows, Linux, and all that. I need to look into that. Now, why am I interested in these things? Well, because in regards to the old Christian songs and all that. So the problem is this free version of this thing. is well, I like the green color at least, and yellow. It's a green at least. It's a dragon, but it's green. It's not red. So it seems like a more like a but here we have Ein fester Bürg ist unser Gott, Martin Luther. That was one of them I was working on. And Lord, keep us steadfast in your word, or thy word. I actually made the whole song in regards of that. But the problem is, if I go into it now, it will not be there. Also loading, yeah. And you can see it's pretty much empty. But I actually made it, it was the first song I made. Let's see here, if I can find the pages. Oh, here we go. So it was 8 times 4 notes or something like that. And I sat here and just in the morning here when I woke up, and you just push it like this. But actually I want to, can I just, no, I can't take it apparently. You just put it there, and we need that. Can we delete that? There we go. And delete. We can move this. No, we apparently not. I'm still pretty new to this. There we go. Okay. And we need this down here. Wait. We need to change that. Octave lower. Okay. Doesn't really change that much anyway. And you can actually fix it all and all that. So even if you make a mistake, you can fix it. So we need that up here and there. So I pretty much sat and fixed it all, and it actually works, And that one up there, and you can set up the colors as well. Actually nice. So you have some color coding as well. You can also zoom in, and then you get some. And then we need what? We need, there we go. Oops. Doop. And you also can set the instruments and all that. So it's actually, it's cute, and it's actually pretty nice fixed up. There we go. And then we have a problem. I had some issues with it also last time. Let's see if we can measure some. Okay, there we go. Yeah, looks good. And apparently what happened with the, can we actually go back? When did it change to, oh, there we go. Okay, so that was up there, and then we need to go back. There we go. Can we, again, you can see I'm still pretty new to this. And that's a problem, you can't save, but as I understand it, in the future version of the free version, they will actually make it that, that you can save a couple of them before it actually, because it's very sad to actually sit and then, there we go, and use time on something, and then you can just see all your work lost afterwards. That's pretty sad. And then we have there and there. And then we have a big one, and we need to go here. And you're pretty, where's that? I think it's up there. Yep. And again. Oops. Why is that actually going to, oh no, that should be there. Okay. And then you have like that. And you can also see these old songs, old Christian songs, are pretty, the notes are not that advanced. It actually is on a child level in some sense, compared to many of the other things. And that's how I like it, That's how I like it. keep it simple for the simple, for having people easily able to. Anyway, let's try this. So as you can see, I've made some notes, probably wrong, in some places, and then you can push play. Anyway, so there you see, and that's just the beginning of the song, and you can also fix it the beat. How do you do that? That's a good question. You have a function, or you can also do like this. Let's try again. So, when I made the song, I was pretty, impressed. It was pretty nice, Again, sadly, losing all your work is just very sad. I don't know how long I used to maybe a half an hour or something like that to get the first song created, toying around with the things and all that. And then, of course, it's sad to lose it all because if you look over here, oops, well, let's move this over there. If you go in there, you can't save the copy because then it says, well, it's only available in the full version. So you lose, but again, as I understand it, in a future release, they will make it available that, and I wrote them about it. I think they should, make a softer, like, for example, 7 saves or something like that. So at least that you have the possibility to just try it out, because if you're sitting here, I don't really want to sit and make something and try the program more out, because I know I'm going to lose the things that I make. But if I had like 7 saves, at least I could try the program out, and be able to still save my it's just taking the cookie away from the person, to want to go on. And, I began making this next song, Ein fester Berg ist unser Gott. And I made, some of it. But again, you lose the progress. And it's a little bigger than the other one. I'm just annoyed. It's sad to lose your work. Anyway, they have their own Flute Master main thing, but again, they are aware of it. So, I said, you can see the program where they have. Well, where's the colors? Did I stop the colors here? Let's see. There we go. And you can get some colors. You can also, I'm not entirely sure why that's what the point of this is, but anyway, then you can play it. Break. And you can change that to different ones. I'm not sure if. There's some breaks in it, and They actually also have another program in regards of learning the beats and the breaks and all that. Well, it costs money as well, but again, seems a little, little pagan thing. But still, in regards of learning something. Where was it? I have tried it and deleted it again, but see if I can find it. Oh, it is a little expensive. By the way, some of the applications, but you are learning. Here we go. Rhythmic Village. It does seem a little pagan, but you could make a Christian theme, instead of these things. But there you learn in regards of in regards to the beat and some of the notes and the breaks and so forward. Again, looks a little pagan, So, but as a learning game, I didn't try that one. I'm not sure. Maybe it's like a sound, and then you need to pick the right one or something like that. Don't know. Didn't try that either. So, but you can also choose different instruments, and actually you can sit with your own instruments apparently, and then it will listen to. So again, for learning, if you don't have an instrument, as far as I know, you can also sit without instrument and just push the screen. So that was pretty. Just looking into it, if I can get some of these Christian, if I can unlock the old Christian notes that I have in some of these books from the 16th century, I could begin to fix them into notes that I can play on the flute. And, it would be nice, just some Christian tunes. Yeah. So let's see, what did I forget? Vivas. So training, it actually seems pretty good in regards to training, FACE and all that. There's commercials in it. Bad. I don't have my ad blocker on at the moment. I should actually have that on. But it does have some pretty interesting tutorial in regards to the staff, in regards of some of the information and all that about things. I'm getting really tired. I should probably stop. Yeah. MIDI sheet music, that's, I don't know, I just have it for, you can take Bach, for example. Let's try Prelude, I'm not sure which one. Let's try it. And you can follow along. But that's pretty advanced, This is, I guess, a little less advanced. But there you have both the right hand and the left hand, and you have a lot of things going on, and that's just too much for me, It's just too complex, And this, of course, is actually one of the less complex. See if we can open one of the others. Let's try that one. But I guess when you become better at reading the notes, you can follow along and get a sense of it. And of course, if you have a keyboard, you can also get some help from some of the programs as to where the key should be and all that. So, oops. Oh, the 2 left. Complete music trainer. What was that? Let's try it. Okay. So there you also have like C. That actually does what, and G and C and G G G and C C C and G C G G G G and C. That's actually pretty good actually. Bum bum Trey. But anyway, yeah, it's actually pretty good, pretty nice. Something about it not being free, but it seems like most of it, I don't know, maybe it is. I'm not. Any case, it looked pretty good, you know. Nice big things and all that. What is music theory helper? Not sure. Oh yeah, that was more information about the things, the octaves, the symbols. There's still a lot to learn for me. And again, I pretty much just need a break. I just don't know. I just have a hard time taking a break. And I really should. And I really should do something else. You know, go out on a run or something like that. You know, my, what do you call it? Physical condition is actually pretty bad. And, you know, if one could actually, yeah, you see, there's so much that we just have forgotten, and you know, I guess when the Christians and the Protestants, you know, grew up with Christianity and the Bible and true history, that they, I guess, forgot the value of it or something. Or maybe it's just easier to then focus on other things when you know the truth. The problem is, in our days, we don't know a lot of things. We don't even know who the Antichrist is. We don't even know who Jesus Christ is anymore. We don't know what is in the Bible anymore. Because we don't read it, because there's so many other things that actually occupies us and all that. We don't know, it's just fallen, all of it, you know. 82% of the Danish people believe in pagan satanic evolution, you know. It's incredible. It's just this filthy world, and we're not instructing our children in the Bible anymore and in the truth. Now, of course, it's like, I don't understand. We have had 500 years to fix things and to you know, to read the Bible pretty much without being burned. You know, of course, persecution have always been here, but you know, so many people got the possibility to read the Bible. Rome couldn't stop them anymore because, you know, well, of course she's trying and so forward, but you know, the mother whore of the book of Revelation, mystery, Babylon the Great. But there was like an explosion of, you know, so it's very hard to actually keep a lid on the things. And people could now read the Bible and see what abominations this Roman Catholic insane institution was, you know, that was not biblical at all. You know, in any case. So, you know, these past years, I've just, you know, there's so much to learn. And I still feel like it's just the top of the mountain, you know, that I pretty much have, it's just, and my brain is already totally fried. And again, it has been fried in many years. So, but yeah, I should take a break. You know, I'm you know, I'm overworking my brain and not doing enough exercise, and I'm fat as well. It's, you know, it's incredible. I really should get me my act together and do some exercises. You know, and it also helps on the memory as well when you do exercise as well. Anyway, but I pretty much lost it when I began on DTU, Danish Technical University. I wanted to, that was pretty much I stopped doing, I was in, incredible good condition compared, in my life. I was in the best condition I ever been in my life. But in regards to this Danish, I wanted to, give a great effort to, it was like 3 years fixed into one, and I was really, in regards to school, I've never been, I knew I had a lot of issues and all that, so I was just concentrating on that. But I should have just done a little exercise as well, kept my, I never really took those breaks. I just used the whole year for pretty much just, trying to make all the homework and all that. It's just stupid not to take a break, once in a while. Now, of course, I failed the last part. In any case, most of the class failed. And they knew that from the beginning. And I knew I would have liked half a year more, but I was told I couldn't get that. But then I actually could have gotten it. But then, anyway, there had been a lot better chance of me actually succeeding if I had actually gotten the half extra year that I wanted. And after that year, I was just pretty much, I was totally fried, as well. So I needed a break after that. But if I had, gotten the softer beginning and got the things in order and all, it might have helped. It would have helped. Getting the math in order and all that in regards to the rules and all that, because there's a lot of things I didn't. So just, yeah. It was a little, it was above my. I pretty much forgot most of it in regards to the math and all that, and yeah. Too much. So, yeah. But again, we have had 500 years to fix things, and yeah, we have lost so much. It's very sad. How could we lose so much? I do wonder. How could we actually, let's see if we can actually, maybe you can take a camera up here. There we go. I don't know how we lost so much. We're growing up 500 years, and we're growing up with Christ Mass, or Yule as we call it. It's just not found in the Bible. We are growing up with Easter. We're growing up with the false pagan New Year of Janus in the winter. Growing up with Halloween. We're growing up with Sunday as the last day of the week, when it's the first day of the week. And why are we even having these pagan names in the week? Sunday for the venerated day of the sun god, Sol Invictus, a false god. That's the same thing with Christ Mass in regards to the same solar god, and all. As far as I can see, it's all based on sun worship, this pagan, filthy system. But anyway, so, what have we been doing for 500 years? Like the beginning, the reformers, the Protestants began to hew row from Satan. It's like it was not meant to stop. We were meant to continue to, take row from Satan. And, we're keeping all these pagan traditions. and it's just pretty much going downhill. They're even marrying homosexuals in the churches nowadays. What abomination! That's insane. This is totally insane. Actually, also in regards to the names, as far as I can see, the Danish guy in the 16th century was actually, I've seen two actually having as his last name, in regards of son, with actually, the Danish not an E, but really as how you write it in Danish actually. I do wonder if they actually, because I've seen they also have the E thing and all that, and usually people use the E thing in our days. But I do wonder if some of these reformers, actually also the guy that actually wrote the music book, that I do wonder if they, because they read the Bible, actually, yeah, it's interesting. So, but of course that was apparently made illegal to take your father's name as your after-name, which is the biblical way of doing it. When you read the Bible, this is the guy and the son of this and the son of that, and you already see, this is this guy, son of this guy, and so forward and all that. So, but apparently it was made illegal to actually take your father's name as your last name. I guess Satan, probably have some kind of, put forward something. So you needed to just take the last name that you had. So, for example, in my family tree, Erickson goes, Erickson, and Erickson. Doesn't make, of course, down the line, I would be a, son, of Erickson and so forward. But, it just destroys the idea of the biblical idea of, okay, for example, if my father is named this, and I have my last name as my father, people will know, oh, that's that guy is, they would know my father's name by just knowing my after name. That makes sense. Totally sense, Doesn't make sense that I'm called, actually two last names now, because now we have mixed it all together. Now, people are taking the women's last name. It's not the women's last name that you had, it's the father's last name you need to take. It's not the woman. It's the man's name. So, just. Also, the nationality goes to the man. It doesn't go to the woman. The Jews have this weird doctrine, this man-made doctrine, that if you are born by a Jewish mother, you are a Jew. Well, no, that's not true. You are a Jew if your father is a Jew. That's why they killed the man and sometimes took the woman. And the children would still be of that tribe, that whatever tribe the man was from. It's just... we don't know these things because we don't read the Bible and don't get some wisdom by, how things are fixed. So, it's sad. It's very sad. And the Bible talks about instructing us, instructing the children in the way of Jehovah, in the way of, I can't remember the exact, quotation and all that, but the idea is to guide our, instruct our children from childhood in the way. And that's the way of Jehovah, and that's, the broad way that leads to destruction. So the narrow road or the narrow way and the broad way. Yeah, so, and the broad way, it leads to destruction. So, we're pretty much just, we're casting them into Satan's candy store until, they'll find out themselves. Oh, really? That's just stupid because as parents, with our experience, we should guide and teach our children in the good way. And they might fall off it and so forward at some point but then it will be so much easier for them to return to the good way. If they have been, gone astray, they will still remember, so they will have easier to actually find it and regain it. But what are we doing? we are teaching them stupidity, vanity. We don't care about the Bible anymore. We have too much fun stuff, right? Computer games. We use, hundreds of hours on computer games. Thousands of hours. How many hours have we used on actually reading the Bible? Did anyone open the Bible this year? That's pretty sad. It's sad that we have, I think still in most homes, people have a Bible, but it just stands there, right? It just stands there on the shelf and looking nice. Don't touch the Bible. It needs to look beautiful, right? It just had to stand. Stupidity. A Bible is there to being read. What's the worth of a book if it just stands on the shelf? But no, we have much more important thing. We have all the fun stuff in the television, right? We have the Roman circus in the television, the Roman theater, huge amount of stupidity going on. We need to see the people on the bikes all summer. Oh, people are sitting in front of a screen and looking at people biking. Like it's the most important thing in the world. Yet in regards of finding out what is actually going on in the world, they couldn't care, They couldn't care about it. They couldn't care about the truth, And in regards of these vain traditions that we have inherited from our fathers, the status quo, just go along to get along, right? Well, if the reformers have done that, we would still have been Roman Catholics. And we would still be in deep, darkness. So, the whole idea, we got some light. The reformers was not perfect. The Protestants was not perfect. But they began to, hero from Satan. They began, it's not, when you look back in history in regards of Wycliffe and Zwingli and Huss and Luther and Andreas and the Anabaptists and so forward, all these, they are not perfect. They have their issues, but they are trying. That's the whole idea. They're trying. Not perfect, but they're trying to get, there's, so they have issues, yeah. But that's not to say that, and we can build on that and we can read the Bible. We can now, we have a huge amount of history that is still, people still, I have no idea how after 500 years that we don't know more about the Reformation and what was going on, and there's still so many things that is, stones unturned, or what is it called, it's, yeah, we have the possibility of having so much truth that it will be very, very, very hard for Satan to deceive us and lead us astray. We have that possibility. You know, there are people out there researching and finding out this and that. You know, people just have to begin to wake up and listen to the people, build on the steps that others have done. There are some great lights out there pointing, to the truth and so forward, and just get into it. We're all working together, hopefully, to get closer to truth. There are some really, some of the brethren are good in this area and some are good in the other area, and using the forces of some are good in regard. For example, Kent Hovind, very, one of the most incredible brothers in regards to destroying evolution, this pagan satanic evolution. And, that's his very, very strong area. And then there's others that do research in history. And, we all work together to try to get, and expose the lies of Satan. And yes, we might have issues. These people out there, and there might be some wolves in sheep clothing out there as well, trying to mislead us and all that. That's why we need to grow and try to discern. But there are also some people out there that just, that might fail in some areas, but it's not because they are wolves in sheep clothing, but because they, have been, they might have been led by, some other, or not having done more research into a subject, but doesn't mean that they are not, it's so. Again, if you look back in regards to the reformers, they had issues, but they were trying, and they were hewing row from Satan. And it seems like in our days that, for example, in Denmark, that most people in Denmark have just, it's just, no one, it's just, very few, we lost, there we go. We lost the light from the mobile. That very few actually, it seems like, the robe is, they just released the robe. And in Denmark, very few seems to actually, try to hew robe from Satan. And we have the possibility in our days to have so much truth and destroy so much of these lies and deceptions from Satan. And yet we are in so much puke, We are, Denmark, the people in Denmark are pretty much, drowning in their own puke. They're puking all over, and it's just become so much, so they're near drowning in their own puke. It's very sad to see. And no one tends to, not speak against the Roman Catholic institution. And not point to who the Antichrist is or who Jesus Christ is, They don't want to. People seems to not want to know. Don't care. I was one of them. I was a believing atheist and evolutionist. I tend to go hand in hand, Well, I did lose my atheism before I actually also lost my evolutionism in some sense. When I went into Satan's candy store and experienced all the spiritual things and got into contact with demons, which I didn't know was demons at that point, but I was not an atheist anymore, at least in regards. I knew that there was more than the physical world and all that. Then I became a Christian. At some point down the line, I began to, research creationism. And then I lost, what shall we say, faith in evolution. Yeah, because evolution is a pagan, satanic lie. So, you can just read the first, that's the thing. If 65% of the Danish people say this is a Christian country, well, maybe we should, do something about it instead. Because how can 65% or around 65%, say that this is a Christian country, when 82% of the people in Denmark believe in pagan satanic evolution? Someone is not doing their job. Some of these so-called priests in the churches are not doing their job. You can't have evolution and put it in the Bible. Of course, going back to Rome and all that, and they are promoting it and all that. Yeah, just sad. But it's a false doctrine. It's really not a surprise that this, this filthy system of Rome, Romanism, is promoting a false doctrine. There are so many false doctrines. So, the Protestant protested someone and a system. How can it be that they knew who the Antichrist was, and yet nearly no one today know who the Antichrist is? How can it be that, most of the world is silent about who the Antichrist is? Oh, well, we have all the other theories out there who the Antichrist is, right? Deflecting, Satan is out there, on every single level, in some sense, the way you are at, Satan seems to have a deceptions that he tries to steer you away from the truth. Like, he has multiple versions of Jesus out there. But then when you know who Jesus Christ is, well, he can't really, deceive you. It doesn't matter how many versions that is out there. When you know the true one, you can pretty much discount those that doesn't fit. So, but the same thing goes with, the Antichrist. There's so many theories about who the Antichrist is in our days, deflecting the blame from the true Antichrist. Yet all the Protestants knew about it. How could all the Protestants, like so much of Europe that became Protestants, who protested against the Antichrist and the whole of Revelation, the beast and the whole. And yet, it seems like no one knows in our days. And it took me years to regain, these things. It took me, years and years. Oh, it's incredible how long it took me. And trying to also to get deflected here and there, I fell for one of these Roman Catholic deceptions, in regards of the Mohammedans, it's just incredible. It's very easy to discount now, but at that point I didn't know better, and it made sense later on that this was, of course, a Roman Catholic source, deflecting the blame from the true source. Another Roman Catholic, source, was talking about, was deflecting another place, because they can't really, say where the true place are. And then you research history and Constantine and the Sunday, the venerated Day of the Sun, and that in 1973 that they changed the so-called, in Denmark, changed the last day to Sunday. They changed the last day to the sixth day, and the first day they made into the last day. But doesn't make it the last day. God says which day is the last day. And then of course Satan comes by again and you can't be sure which day is the seventh day and blah blah blah. And then you do research again. I think 1.5 months I used on that, trying to research the things in regard, and I found, we can be pretty sure to know which day is the seventh day. It hasn't been lost, to time and all that. We know which day is the seventh day. But then there will come, it doesn't matter which day we, keep. Really? Is that what God says in his Bible? It doesn't matter which day it is? Did Jesus say, it doesn't really matter which day I'm going into the synagogue? Huh? Or did he has as his custom to go into the house of meeting on the Sabbath, which is what we call Saturday? And if you want to be exact, it's from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. But just keeping it on Saturday, even using the Roman, from midnight to midnight and all, it would still be a lot closer to the truth than Sunday. So we have all these pagan names, Sunday, Moon Day, what's it called? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's, I think it's in regards of Odin or something like that in English, whatever. False god again, and in Danish it's and then you have Thursday in regards of again all these pagan gods, and Saturday I think that's in regards of Saturn and so forward. Again, there's some variations from the Roman, Latin days, and in regards to Danish days and English days, but there's a lot of parallels, so, but it's all pagan. If anything is the first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day, the sixth day, which is the day of preparation, and then the seventh day, which is the blessed day that was sanctified from the very beginning around 6,000 years ago. I tend to, it seems like, you can look this up in a lexicon, in regards to the seventh day, in regards to Saturday and Sunday and all that. Just open a lexicon, but people don't even want to do that. And it's like, some people don't know about these pagan traditions, and some do, and continue to promote it. That's just wrong. One thing is to be deceived, right, by something. Another thing is to know the origin and so forward, and yet continuing to promote the lie. We teach our children about Satan Claus, a godlike figure that knows if the children have been bad or good and all that. And again, there's these, wicked traditions in regards to the. Anyway, And we have like Easter in regards of egg-laying rabbits or hares and all that. Yeah, where do we find that in the Bible? Well, if anything, in regards of don't do as the pagans, in regards to their traditions, because they are vain. But it's, God have commanded us to keep these festivals and all that is found in the Torah. But then people will say, oh, if you try to keep those, you will lose salvation. But it's okay to keep the traditions of the Antichrist, then you don't lose salvation. What insanity is it that people have filled their brain with? And Halloween as well, as far as the Satanists go, the birthday of Satan. Well, just jumping on one pagan tradition after another. Now we're taking the Mohammedan traditions on. Still, paganism. Instead of going to, it's like, as long as it's pagan, it's okay. But don't you come with one of these festivals that is found in the Torah, It's actually found in the law of God, Don't you come there, you're a Judaizer, a legalist, a radical extremist, Just give me a break. But, yeah, if it's pagan, and then you see the churches hanging gnomes all over, and then you have the Christmas tree, which also seems to have pagan origin. As far as I can see in regards of Odin and all that, and as far as I understand it, Yule, in Danish, we call it Yule, we did never, they tried to make it into Christmas in Danish, but it never really struck the core, I guess, as far as I know. So we still call it Yule, which is the old name, for the traditions that we kept in Denmark. And Yule, as far as I can see from the lexicon, goes back to Jølner. And Jølner is just another word going back to Odin. Funny enough, in regards of Santa Claus as well, in regards of, there's something in regards of Odin, in regards of Satan Claus as well. And then you have the red and white, like actually the poops, the Antichrist. You can find images of the the poops where they sit in red and white, like looking at like Satan Claus in regards of red and white and all that. Yeah, in any case. But anyway, so as I understand, in regards to the pagan traditions of Odin and all these things, that was something in regards of a tree as well. Now, other pagan traditions have this, tree thing and all that. So, anyway, I remember talking to one of these priests and, talking about Christmas here in Denmark, and he said, yeah, it's pagan and all that, and he was leading it back to the Festival of Lights. I'm not sure how that actually, maybe, how that might be another pagan link and all that. But in regards to the church building, it was filled with gnomes, and gnomes are the old house gods. So, paganism again. Why would you set up gnomes or images of gnomes in a building that should be a place for worship of God? The real, true, eternal, living God. It's just, what's going on? It's wicked. This world is wicked, and Satan is a crafty and masterfully deceiver. That's his craft. And when I was in Satan's candy store, those demons, and that I had actually thought one of them was God, which if it was anything, it was, either it was a deceptive demon, or it was Satan. So it might have just have been one of the minions of Satan, but in any case, the eye and the eye of Ra and all that, just remember, it's changed form and all that, and of course the eye of Ra, well, it goes back to paganism, Egyptian paganism and all that. So it wasn't God that I had contact with at that point, and showed me things that was also wrong in regards of reincarnation and flipping things around in regards to the soul and the spirit and all that. So, but the deception was very, very deep. It's a miracle that I ever got out of it. And there are many people in the, having contact with demons. And demons comes in many disguises. And again, their craft is deception. If you underestimate Satan, you will get deceived. And I think a lot of Christians are underestimating Satan. And it's very sad. I remember that was one of the first things coming out of Satan's candy store and looking at the Christians and how they're falling for all these, they're not, just thinking that if something is spiritual, it must be from God. No, Satan is out there as well, and he can do things as well. They're sad. For example, the demons could come as aliens. That's one of the ways they can come to people. They can come as family members, dead family members. That's one of those disguises as well. They can come as, your husband, to a wife, a dead husband and all that. It's demons. And other things, they can play this bad cop, good cop game and all that when you have contact with these and good gods and bad gods and whatever. They have many ways of deceiving you and deceiving people, and it just seems people don't really want to take it seriously. And a lot of the material that actually gets out there ends up getting censored as well, because Satan doesn't want the information out there. And again, I've never been so much, so censored as when I became a Christian. I thought I actually had it bad when I was but it actually is more like popular to go in that direction. Regards of the occult and New Age and, all this stupidity. But when I became a Christian, I began to talk about the things and all that, I guess it's better than being burned on the stake, right? Or getting the head chopped off. But of course, that's an option for the future. Who knows, You never know. And now, of course, many of the platforms are deplatforming people for their views. And in regards of YouTube, I was banned for hate speech. So I'm actually not sure why I'm uploading these things on YouTube, because they'll probably just, ban me again at some point. So why am I making it and putting it up here? I don't know. I just, wanted to talk, I guess. Talk a little. It doesn't really matter because they can just remove it and then everything is, every single thing I wrote throughout, 10 years, nearly 10 years or something like that on YouTube, gone. Just like that. Because they, don't like my views on YouTube. At least, those I posted on the other channel. That was too much apparently for them. I never got 3 strikes. I was just out. I got a warning, that was all. And I guess that, it was a fair warning, I was showing how to, I was showing on a platform I was running a live session and I got something that I, in the program, the application. The thing is that on this chat platform, they have freedom in mind and not in regards to censoring. They try to give the power to the user and not to the system, and thereby there might come something up that you don't really want to see. So I was showing how to actually remove it in the application. And yes, there was some really bad things on the screen. I guess YouTube should have the technology, or Google YouTube should have the technology to just, smooth it out. But apparently that's apparently not an option for them. Apparently not just to smooth it out. That was actually be a very, I think they should have the technology, but any case, okay. In regards to the warning and all that, I do understand, that it was, I don't like such things myself, so I do understand, but I was just showing, but I should have taken more, you never know who actually looks at, the video, and thereby, it's very hard to actually go around nowadays, But the thing is, this platform have these things, and you can hit into them because, but it tries to give the power to the user. So if something comes up, you can block it and remove it. So you don't, you can block everything from that place. But that was a warning. I never got the 3 strikes. Never got the messages on strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, out. I just got out. Banned for hate speech. For hate speech. I think I might still have the last video, but many of the videos is pretty much lost. In any case, I'll continue speaking. That's pretty much it. And the more you learn and the more you study and read the Bible and all that, you're the, you're the close, yeah. It's, so it's not all wasted, yeah. That's okay. Not all wasted. Nope. Even if it's sad to see. It's sad when you use a lot of time writing things and all that, and you just see everything getting deleted. It is very sad, when you see so much of what you actually write getting deleted. I remember, Nina Follows Christ, and there was a Mohammedan girl, a former Mohammedan girl that had turned to Christ, and she also had some in regards to some demonic. The last video she uploaded, she talked about something in regards to demons, but I never got to see that and all that. But she really stirred up the Mohammedans, and it ended. It ended with that. They got her channel closed down. As far as they, just flagging. I made a message that just got to the top of one of the videos on another channel that hosted her videos as well, and both her, both the original channel and this other channel that hosted her videos as well was closed down. Reposted her videos. I don't know. I don't know if any other channels closed down, but that was the two I knew about. And but anyway, I was writing to Nina on this unofficial channel, and she saw it, and she actually wrote to me, saying, come over to my channel, in regards to the official channel. And I, when I wrote it, I didn't know it was an official channel I was writing at. But in any case, the only message in all the messages that was found in that, it was a very, very heated talk. It was a very interesting talk as well, because there was both Mohammedans and atheists and, different kinds of Christians and so forward, whatever you want to. But anyway, many different kinds of people. And we had a really good talk, I think. I enjoyed it anyway. But it really was heated. But the only message that was actually on the topic from the first message, because I wrote, to Nina, you go girl, tell them the truth or something like that. And Nina was replying to that. So, if there was any message in the whole topic, because it became a topic that, was pretty much about, a huge amount of things. Well, was okay, but we were talking, we had a good talk. Any case, but the real message that really was, that was from Nina. And I could see that message from Nina had been censored. I don't know. I don't know if it was because I had made the first post and all that, but I looked in regards of, I could see the post that had been censored, and her message had been censored. It's just insane. And then of course you have the ghost censoring as well, where you write a message and you can see the message, but you don't know others can see the message. That's deceptive. You're sitting there and thinking, oh yeah, I've written a message. It's just that exact fact by YouTube is already, enough to lose. You just don't do that. That's just, it's wicked. It's just not right to do. And they do that. Besides other things, of course. It's just, and of course they made began to deplatform so many people that, apparently so-called, conservatives, right-wingers, apparently. And apparently I was put in that box as well, it seems. I didn't, I guess, I never actually knew where, because I wasn't really interested in the political, but apparently that's the box apparently I'm in. conservative, right winger and whatever. Which apparently is, usually, Christians that is in that area apparently, that believe in the Bible and stand for, I guess the conservative things, I don't know. But anyway, so at least I was put in that box. But it was interesting to see, when people began to get, cut off from these places, that it opened up for some things. And it divided the things for sure as well. It's just sad to see how they just cut off people just because they couldn't handle the truth, just because they couldn't handle the facts, So, and the thing is, people are still using YouTube, including myself. I'm now making this video on YouTube, and I really shouldn't, because it's a dead platform. It's, we already know what they can find, what they can do. It's Google, YouTube, and we can see, we can hear from insiders. We have that's on BitChute, what is a channel in regards of outsiders that are talking about what is actually going on behind, these many companies, and how you can see where, one get the platform and they apparently work together, where you would think, okay, but then they get deplatformed from other places, but so you can see there's a connection where they that's sad to see how free speech is just getting destroyed on these places. And thereby, why are we continuing to use it? Because we have been accustomed to these things. We have been, you get accustomed to Facebook and YouTube, and then you just continue, it's hard to get off, And then they cook you slowly. I don't think there was any advertising on Facebook, for example, in the beginning, if I remember correctly. And now there's a huge amount of advertising. Also, at some point, Facebook was, you could easily go to different years and, but they had to make room for more advertising, right? So they removed that, where you could actually go back in the years very easily, month and all that, and just remove that feature as well. And then, like, when you're looking, it's like, well, it's not 50%, I think, in regards of advertising, but they put it in there so it looks like it's, and then you look and it's like, okay, it's an ad, it's a sponsored thing and all of that. I was like, I'm not on Facebook because I want to see ads. I'm on Facebook to, have connection with people, not all this advertising. So, the same thing with YouTube when they began to all this advertising. And people have a way of, money. And then they, just corrupted a huge amount of things because, like, people saw, like, oh, money. Oh, I can, and then they made these catchy titles to get people to push and all that. And now we have, ads as far as it goes for me is mostly from Satan, It's wasting our times. We're not interested in these ads. It's mostly it's promoting some satanic thing. And life, I think, is too short. And why should we, push this on others? Just money, 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 money. Yeah, it's just no way. That's no way, no go. So that's, I think, already destroyed a lot of. And then people complain about losing money, this and that and all that, because YouTube takes them off and all that. But in the first, money have a way of corrupting people, and in the platform itself, I think, was, I just don't. I hate ads. I hate advertising. That's why I have a browser that pretty much is, AdBlock. And AdBlock is, well, I pretty much just deleted a lot of things and all my tabs was lost. Sometimes I lose all my tabs on this, but it's still the best browser in regards of, as far as I've found, that actually removes the ads. Well, at least most of them. But sometimes it's. I try to ask them to make a feature. If you make like this, for example, there's room for a feature like here. A button where you could just push and say, "Save all my tabs." Apparently, that's too hard to make. Apparently, I've tried and tried to, Well, the last time they said they had made, and I should try out the beta, which, and I tried that. I couldn't really find any feature, but it was extremely slow. And, and this works pretty good. It's pretty much just two things they need to fix, and this is a perfect browser. One thing is to make it actually be able to store those tabs. It should be an essential feature for any browser, but apparently, in this wicked world, it's not a sane world, I would still be running Windows 2000 if I could, on the computer, for example. And then I was pushed onto Windows XP, and then I was pushed onto Windows 7, and it's just getting more nutcase. I don't want to go further in the nutcase Windows systems. Fill it with stupidity, and it just becomes huge. And, I pretty much nearly need to download 2 gigabytes of updates for my Windows 7 when I installed it. 2 gigabytes. Now, of course, Windows couldn't make it like an update, Windows 7 update disk. No. Need to just install it. The only thing you can get is a Service Pack 2, I think it's called. And then they have made an update, and instead of actually just fixing a Service Pack 2, just make an update, and then you need to download actually 2 files, because you need 1 file to actually make the update able to install and all that. And then, of course, you need to update again through the, this updates insanity. It's just wasting our time. And of course, when you have slower computers, and then of course you need to, have newer computers and blah, blah, blah. There's I remember one of my computers that actually was bought with the system. And, over the time, the exact same system, just with all the updates and all that, was pretty much unusable. It had become so slow. Same laptop. Oh, that's just, I wonder why that would happen. Well, maybe because they want you to buy new things. And this consumer, society. I see, very interesting again. With I'm trying to get some bicycle bags now because my bicycle bags that I have, survived for plus 20 years, I think, from my days when I went out with advertising things. I'm not proud of it in any case, but in my youth, I did, ads going in regards of, and there was these bicycle bags, and when I stopped being going around with these, the thing is they usually they should have the bags back, but they didn't. The guy didn't take them back and all that. So anyway, so I've used those, and I think they are over 20 years old, and I still have them, but they are really singing on the last verse. But they were made to last. Last a long time. And so I need some new ones, and the thing is, those that they sell in the shops are pretty much crap, as far as I can see. But let's sell the crap to the people, right? Because then they need to go out and buy some new things when things break and all that. So I've been looking for something that, lasts a long time, but apparently it seems they won't sell me any of these. Apparently it's very hard to actually get some of these, bags from, it's the same thing, I guess, with a lot of things, it's the stupidity, And they complain, it's this double moral of complaining that we are, we are making too much trash and this and that and all that, and yet it's on purpose that they do it. So they're, complaining, yet, making the things not, that you need, that you need to upgrade and all that, and then things breaks on, designed obsolution and all that. And yet then we see on the other side, complaining that we need to this and that and all that. You nearly can't get a mobile with battery anymore. And then, then I heard, one person say that, well, it doesn't matter because the phone is obsolete before the battery dies out. It's just, oh my, it's just, oh no, you have to be yeah. So because the battery maybe lasts half a year, well, the phone is then obsolete before the half a year. Well, it's just insane, because it's in regards to the software. When they stop, upgrading, the software, they have locked the phone. So it's not like the hardware is obsolete. They just make it, obsolete. And don't upgrade, or make issues with with the things, because then you want to this is and then this last upgrade for my mobile, for example, have stupid issues. Well, maybe it's because they want me to get a upgrade, and not have the they want me to use money again and again. These phones are jailed. You can't do what you want with them. I paid like 5,000 kroners. I think you can actually get the mobile for 800 kroners now, so it's actually getting pretty cheap compared to when I bought it anyway. But it's locked. You pay, a huge amount of money for hardware, and you're not allowed to do what you want with it. And thereby, they make this, designed obsolution. What do you call it? Yeah, it's just, you see the same with the light sources that we have in the home. There's a documentary about that where they designed the light bulb to only last 1,000 hours. And they made this agreement and all that. It was not because they couldn't make the light bulbs to last a lot longer. It was designed absolution. Think about it. How much time could you have saved by not needing to change the light bulb and not going out and buying new light bulbs all the time and all that? And you think about the whole process. Now this it might seem a minor thing, but then when you get more and more, more and more of these stupidities, it adds up to a huge amount. If, it might be that, an old woman needs to call an electrician, for example, and that of course will cost her money, and then he gets out, changes the light bulb and goes again and so forward. And that might be, that waste a lot of time for the electrician. It takes resources from the woman, and overall, it just, it's a lot of, and then you have a waste product, of course. So those, one of in this documentary, they have a light bulb that have lasted for, a huge amount of years. I can't remember how much it was, and there was this guy that apparently found this so-called secret formula that apparently they can't find out how, what this formula that's apparently miraculous, impossible to find out how to create. It's a wicked system. It's just, and again, we complain about all the trash and all that, and they are doing it on purpose. They are doing it on purpose. It's just stupid. And then we have another, that was in regards of these socks for women. They made the socks for these, what is it called? I can't remember what they call. They made them so, they designed these socks, and they're pretty much indestructible. And you can't have indestructible, socks for women, because if they never break, they won't go out and buy new ones. So they redesigned them so they broke over time. It's insane. It's utterly insane. This world is insane. It's outrageous. It's the same thing with, that when they complain about, we don't have enough workers in Denmark, we need to import from the outside. Well, we killed nearly 1 million of our own people by abortion. We would have the workforce. We have just killed our own, so we now need to get the workforce from the outside. Totally satanic, it is insane. It is utterly insane. Now, of course, we have the banking system, right? With its usury thing and all that. It just makes us run around, and then you have the commercials. It's just, and you have the fun stuff, the games, the all these things keeping us occupied, and of course destroying the family in regards of feminism, and yeah, it's just all of these things is just getting well, I don't know, it's just an insane world. It's just totally insane. Yeah. So that's pretty much it, I guess. But if you actually unlock, these mobile phones, you can install your own software. But of course, they made it, they make it hard for you to actually unlock the phones. And if you even unlock the phones, you end up actually breaking it. And of course, they've been so smart. So if you actually unlock the phone and get to the point, and it breaks, well, too bad. Just too bad. You need to buy a new phone. It's just. And then of course they will put, they will spy on you. They will push the ads. And I just. So, oh yeah, by the way, the Librem 5 phone is close. Phone based on freedom. Let's see if I can find it. I'm looking forward for that in case. I'm not sure if I'm still, waiting to see how people will, how it actually will work when it comes out. But it is, where it's open from the beginning. So I'm hoping it will be a success for them. So I can get away, and this also has a removable battery as well. And they talk about also, that it will try to tune the system and not go the other way around. So they talk about it actually, the idea is that it should become better and faster as, as time progresses and not slower. But as I understand it, it will actually run a native Linux version. Not like Android, which is, much of Google stuff and all that. And where they actually lock the. You don't have. Yeah, it's just stupidity. I'm not sure. This is probably not the final product. This is probably they have had that for a long time. So it's going to be interesting to see how it will actually look. And again, I'm looking forward to it. The whole so-called philosophy goes, seems to be based on freedom for the user and not, you will have administrator rights from the very beginning. It will not be locked. So, and there's other Linux versions that you can install if you want to do that and all that. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how that will work out. And it will be open, and you will have administrator rights and all that. And so I'm really looking forward to, and it's a company that already have made laptops and all that. But the problem is they are not cheap. You pay but they like their laptops are like made with sanity. Where you can easily get into the things and all that to open the laptop and all that. It's incredible. It's made with, it's not like, for example, the last laptop which I bought many years ago and all that. It's a very, very old laptop. But, if I need to get into the fan of which is pretty much one of the primary things that you would need to get into to, to either change the fan if it breaks or, dust it off, right? Because that's usually the place where the dust will come around. But they made this, and this is not the only laptop that has this issue. And again, it seems to be on purpose. Instead of making it easy for the user, they made it as, you need to disassemble, or what's called disassemble. You need to take the whole laptop apart to get into the fan. Just insane. Utterly insane. You need to, screw the whole thing apart. Every single piece pretty much to get down to the fan. To be able to get to the fan. I think it's designed that way. And it doesn't need to, when you don't try to make it easy for the user, and they don't. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and it's still getting worse. It's just, and when you see the companies also trying to, it seems like they're just trying to destroy the free programs as well. Well, I think I'm pretty sure that they're actually trying to do that. As very sad. And where you see that they also trying to, force you on a specific browser and make the experience on other browsers bad and not compatible and all that. Trying to lock you in and force you to force you in that direction so they can lock you and they want more and more power. They don't want to give the power to the users. And they have taken more and more and more and more, spyware, spy phone. You can go on the internet and search it, and then you go to Facebook, and then they will show advertising from some of the pages you've been on. It's just, I don't want them to know where I have been and all that. It's not that I have anything to hide or anything like that. That's just the principle that they apparently know where I am. Because how would they, and I remember, that's some years ago where it was like, where it was like, if you spoke about something and it would show up on Facebook. And I remember I was not the only one that you saw these videos on YouTube where people were talking about, or in other places where they were talking about, we were just talking about something, and then it showed up on the mobile. That's very creepy, and people thought it was very creepy. Talking about something that, and it just shows up, coincidentally shows up on the, regards of ads. So if they were just talking about it and not checking their phone or anything, again, spy phone. Just really creepy. And you can see that they are actually getting a lot of information just by when, on these where they have gathered information about things. And the question is, where did they get that information from? And most games that you actually install on the, it seems, most of the games that I've installed on the phone when I install it, comes up usually and say, hey, there's a problem, there's spyware in it, and so I think I installed 4 games yesterday. Just to try something out. And all 4 games had spyware in them. It's I have one application that has, and of course that's very sad. But I have one application that I have not been able to in regards of downloading YouTube videos and all that. But it has a lot of spyware crap in it and advertising, and I really should delete it. But the thing is, it's not really any. But of course, if you just have one application that sends information and all that, well, you just I guess destroys the purpose of deleting the rest of them. So I've cleaned a lot of things out, so every single application goes through in regards of anti-adware. And also, let's see here if we can find it. It should only find one. But again, that's one too many. And that it will actually also, if you're installing something and it finds something, it will warn you. And you can actually also get it. I never looked at the full version actually of it. How that, Oh. I wonder if there's, if the application is still, alive. I don't know. But anyway, this is the one application I have. And then you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can actually look some of these up, and then they will tell you, oh, this is this and that, and if you this, oh, so you can actually see what they are promoting. If you put this in the application, you can get this. So if one search on some of the things, one can get more information. And I've had applications that I actually paid for, and then after I paid for them, they were, in regards of an update, there's spyware in them. So I think it's 3 applications that are pretty much set on not to update. Yeah. So I just have an older version of it, which is fine as well, as long as they work. And of course, that's another thing in regards of all this updating. So many updates nowadays. Well, it will be very interesting with the mobile phone. As I understand it, they also will make the phone so you can actually, I don't know if you need a special screen for it, but as I understand it, the mobile can actually works at the computer, and then you can just look on a big screen. Which actually makes sense, I guess, because these mobile phones, runs in, insane resolutions nowadays, I don't even know why they would run so huge resolutions. I'd rather actually be able to go down in resolution and get more power from the mobile, or save some power. But no, they of course don't make that option. At least not on Android. Maybe they will do in regards to the Librem 5. So here we have runs GNU Linux, yes, this and that, and yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it in any case. And see how it, and it also has a jack stick, that's, and you can change the battery, which is a must. It's just a must for me. You have a jack stick, a must, it's just, again, a must for me. So that's 2 things that is a must. You don't need to jailbreak it, just wonderful, You can just change the system very easily, from the beginning. Just wonderful. It seems like it might become the mobile that, and then of course it's running Linux and can apparently run a lot of native programs that is also running on the Linux on the computer. So that will also help actually, familiarize yourself with the applications and, being able to use them on both the, Again, personally, if I could sit on Windows 2000, You know, it pretty much did everything that, and it was before all the insanity. You know, all the you take the CD out and then the file browser closes down. I was like, what? And it's never done. It never did that beforehand. And then they changed how things works, and everything just worked as they should in Windows 2000. I don't really remember anything that I was, really dissatisfied about in Windows 2000. It just worked. It was rock stable. It did everything I wanted a system to do. I didn't need any other upgrades or anything. I just needed it to be able to run on the hardware I bought, which was the problem. That was all. But no, 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 no. Can't have that. We need to have more lunacy. And more graphic, of course. That's why your Windows 2000 was, not all that the system itself was more in the background. And I like that. The only other system that I actually have tried that is actually more in the background than Windows 2000 was Crunchbang. But the person that actually had Crunchbang stopped the development of it. Which, wouldn't be a surprise if he got some money to stop the development. Wouldn't surprise me at all, because the excuses that he made why he would stop it, and telling people that he didn't want people to use the name to continue it, and he didn't just put give it over to other people that could have run the no, just totally destroy a system that many people that saying that he didn't think it was a necessary thing anymore. It just was a very bad excuse. And that's actually the only other system where I have felt like this might actually be better than Windows 2000 when I set it up, at some point. But then I sadly got into Windows again because of a computer game at that point. Being lured off it and all that. And anyway. And then he stopped the production of it. And now it has, others have, there's one thing is called Crunchbang++. I think as one single author and all that, and it's a lot less, you don't have the same forum thing. Then you have something called Ninbunzens, but it just, compared to the real Crunchbang, both of them have, I don't know in regards to the new versions, but Ninbunzens have pretty much, there's a lot of bloating things in it. It just doesn't have the same feel. And the Crunchbang++, it is a lot closer in regards to the feel, but still, if you the last version, if you compare it to the Crunchbang, it's just and then again, that's the thing, if you have something that works, why change it? Why begin to flip things around in regards to the settings and do weird, stupid things, and then close down features for the user because of security? It's just tedious, and stupid features that no one have asked for, and yet removing features that people are using. You see the satanic agenda behind it. Locking the things more and more down. So they get more and more control. And I remember it was like Windows 7 when they were pushing this update for Windows 8 or something like that. And they pushed this update, and that was something where it was continually being pushed forward in regards to Windows 7, and extremely annoying, extremely. And again, the updates where it just automatically just turns off your computer, so you might have, you might be doing something on the computer, right? And you just goes from the computer, and then in the background just download the updates, and now then it finds out I want to update now, and comes up with a screen. Hey, if you're not going to say anything or postpone this, I will just turn off the machine, and everything you have on the computer will be just lost. Why? Well, sanity. So, but this mobile's specifications is actually not that mind blowing, or what do you call it? It's not really, and compared to the price, is kind of spicy. I guess if you compare it, but one have to remember that this is probably going to run. If you take off all the extra stupidity and all that, things have a way of for the first, being smaller and running quicker. So even if the hardware might not be impressive, it might actually be quicker, and not but yeah. And then you can't use the SD, when they made that feature as well, in regards to that you're not allowed to use the SD card and all that. And now some of the programs can actually use, but they need to make this folder inside this. It's just stupid. So if I have a download program, I can't just, say, hey, you need to download it to my SD card. Nope. No. And if I do make it to the SD card, it will make it like a, you need to go, this Android and this program and this, need to find the, and then inside this, this it's just insane, just totally insane. And why would they do that? Well, maybe because they like the user to use space on the mobile itself, because, the thing is, if you don't have enough space on the mobile, then you go out and buy a new one, right? Then you find out, oh, there's not enough space on the mobile, I need to get a bigger one. Instead of just being able to use the SD card, and over time just upgrade that SD card, So anyway, yeah. So I think that they have their own Linux version as well that is free as well. I think others can use it as well. I'm not entirely sure, but I think you can just download it and use it without any problem. So besides actually, besides selling computers and all that, they also give back to the Linux society. The same thing with some of the applications they actually have made that works now on Android and the Apple mobiles, and that's Librem Chat and Librem Social. And I think, I pretty much think they put them out because of the mobile. That's not that many yet, but, it's, when the mobile comes out, I would think that, that there will be, where more people will begin to use it. But this is the place. Let's see here. Librem One General Chat. And actually, you can pretty much, at the moment at least, you can talk to them. And for example, I had a thing in the Librem social, and I talked to them about it. And the next update, it was made. This feature was made. I don't know if it was in regards of me pointing something out, but in any case, the next update, it pretty much had that feature which I was, looking for. So again, they have used open source applications, and as I understand it, fork them, and then they give back to the society as well. So it's very nice. The other program is, and again, focus on. We have this is, as I understand it, like Twitter, but again, I haven't really used Twitter. But this is, as I understand it, like Twitter, but just in a, more free form, I guess. So, yeah, and as I understand, you can actually make the so-called tweets longer than Twitter. I think you can make them double size than what you can on Twitter. Because I posted one message on Twitter just to try it out, and I much could only take half of a. But the thing is, it works for you. That seems like the software works for you, not against you. Oh, that's nice. You want the software to work for you. But again, if I could use Windows 2000, that's pretty much, I was familiar with that. And I actually have just run Windows 2000 on the computer, just tried it out to see if I could actually get it to work on the old computer that I had. But it had problems with the graphic card and all that. But overall, it actually, I was only running 16 colors, but the interface and all that just, still worked. It was actually running pretty fluently, but of course 16 colors and all that. But I couldn't install the graphic drivers, but it was very familiar, and it was. Just works. The settings are where I'm, it just doesn't do any stupidity and all that. I must say, since I left Windows 2000, I have pretty much, longed for that system ever since. I remember when I had to leave it, I was so sad that I needed to go to Windows 2000, no, Windows XP at that point. Just that step from Windows 2000 to Windows XP was, that was already a decline. And Windows 7 it just made it worse and worse and worse for every single release that they did. Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, just downhill. Couldn't Microsoft just make, an exact version of Windows 2000 in 64-bit? Is that too much to ask of? Apparently. That's the thing. If they just made a system like Windows 2000 functioning like exactly the same, pretty much. The only thing that I could, see as an upgrade maybe was that they made the ability to have Windows connected together. That might be the only upgrade that would be nice as far as I can see. The rest was pretty much, I can't really, think of anything in regards of, besides that, as an upgrade. Because that was a nice feature when you had like 30 windows open and all that. It was nice that it could actually be in one, and you can push it, and you had all the. Was it Windows XP that actually started with that? Or, yeah, probably. Where it was the ability to, But that's really the only thing that I can find that would be an upgrade if they put that option in it. Besides that, pretty much just make it equal to Windows 2000 interface and all that, and I would be happy. Yeah, but anyway, you have your own profile here. Just needs to load. So that's my profile, and it needs to be set a little more up. I haven't used it that much. I have 54 posts, but really, I don't really feel. It's like 42 days since I posted the last one. So again, I haven't really, used it that much compared to Facebook. And again, there's not that many people on the so again, it will grow. Yeah, hopefully more Christians will come online on it. I think I know of 2 or something like that. Let's see, not as followers. There actually might be some things that okay. Okay, that's follows. Okay. Now, of course, I have to be careful because I'm actually sitting on a. So Joshua is a Christian. Alan is a Christian. Nick might be, maybe Daniel. I'm not sure. And then there's a lot of the creators of the Librem and all that. That's just. Just trying to get something going on the platform. You have to start one place. But I haven't found that many Christians. So, that's my closing of my my YouTube. It says it was discriminating, things that apparently said. And they pretty much, closed it down. My whole account. That's the power that they have to close it all down. And of course, Facebook as well, where they can just, put you in the jail. So I tested this platform to see if so I put this information. It was something that Facebook didn't like, and it's really disgusting. But I wanted to see if anything reacted, and there was no reaction, and of course there shouldn't actually be on this. And I've put a lot of things on it, and again, as I understand it, they are for freedom. So even if they disagree, they will. I do wonder why. Media hidden, click to view. Why would that be hidden? I don't know why. Maybe it's. I don't know why the images is not there. Oh well. They called it a tooth and not a tweet. So, anyway, yeah, whatever. But again, I guess one could maybe, when more Christians come by, get interesting fellowship if people are interested in the Bible and all that. Let's see, what do we have up here? That's just the image. Then we have media. They might have pinned. They might have some problems or something like that. Yeah, it seems like the more images are broken. That doesn't sound good. That looks bad. Yeah, that looks really bad. Well, again, they're still trying things out and all that, so, so it's still work in progress, I guess, where they're trying to make things and get it, so, can I push that? Nope. So, yep. Anyway, I should get to bed, actually. It's getting late and it's not night that long here in Denmark at the moment, but of course it's going in that direction. Oh yeah, Bishop has been updated a couple of times. Not sure if that is a positive thing, but let's see. I remember it was very, very responsive, at least in the later updates. Very responsive. Okay, so what? How do I put? Okay, how do I get the? Usually you could get the option from. Okay. Well, it was usable. The question is now, how do I? Okay, I'll have to look into that. That's annoying. It had a way of opening a window over to the left. Maybe the new version just doesn't work. That's sometimes the updates, right, are not really updates. Sometimes the updates are just more bugs, more issues, more problems, more. And then of course you have a problem in regards of Play Store because they don't give you the ability to downgrade. And then you need to go other places if you and look for it and use time for it. You can't even downgrade to a former version. Give me a break. Again, not giving the power to the user, but just And of course, maybe I have an older update on the card. If this, but as I understand it, they should actually have made like a dark thing for it. I didn't really have many updates on, and then it began it began to make update for it, or someone began to make update for the application. But it does seem to have a problem getting the options. I don't know what to do. Well, should I push? Yeah, that's not. Nope. Oh yeah, that was something about that, by the way. Word with audio. I can't remember. That was something smart with that, but oh, there we go. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. That's I just apparently blind. Why would I not be able? I was just blind. I'm tired. So that's Bible sync settings. Okay. Here we have the dark theme, which should be new. Not sure. I would like that. Bible sync pass race. Well, shouldn't really have been on on the internet. Oh well. I guess I can change it. But again, who? Oh well. Anyway, So here we have the black. That's, I guess it actually is not bad as black. As in regards of the three testimonies in Danish, and where you then one can see that they, took it out. Or why is it in regards of? Oh yeah, there. Maybe it's the same Danish. 1871. Okay, so maybe it's the next one that they took it out. Yeah, here we go. There's nothing there in regards of the Father and the Word and the... Oh yeah, that we have in brackets there and brackets there. Must say I don't remember that both versions, but I must have, but you can see it's taken out there. So it's in brackets there and taken out in the third edition. And then pretty much you don't see it in any Danish Bible from that time off. So the latest Bible that I found, is 1871. Then having this, and I think it should be there in regards to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It's a thing that people really, really don't like, that hate in regards to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. They really have a big problem with that verse. But even if you take out that verse, you still have John 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, chapters where Jesus is talking about, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit and all that. So, but this is one of the disputed things and all that. You can make the font size bigger. Oh, also the menu is getting bigger. Nice. Okay, well, seems to be interesting. Some more things, and now there's a bookmark as well. Bibles and all that. But the nice thing with this program was that it's very fluently, and as I understand, it's actually open source. The problem with the library thing is that it can pretty much see everything or a lot of things. But the problem is there's things you can download which can't be used by the program. And here's some of the things that I've downloaded for it. But I need to get into that at some point again. Getting the tools for... in regards to, and I need to get some other tools fixed as well, and ask around, and so lots of things to do. I would like to get to the point where I'm able to translate the Bible or something like that, but there's a long way yet. But getting all the information from every single here and there. So, yeah. Again, we have so much information in our days, and just needs a lot of people to actually dig into it. Then we have An Bible, also open source, if I remember correctly. Bible Time, I think, also has been updated. But that's the worst of the applications in regards to running fluidly on the mobile. But it does have some things that the other two doesn't have in regards to the open source applications that uses these. There are some other sources that it actually can. It's not the prettiest thing, but here we have something in regards of Luther, for example. So some of the sources that the two other programs can't do, this program can do. But again, it has been it seems to have become somewhat, seems, at least there's something that's happened, in regards of, it looks somewhat differently. So, interesting. This looks pretty much the same, where you can download different things and all that. Concord, oh, that's the same thing. You had this weird, okay. And then you have a search function. Okay. Oh, well, at least they have changed things. Not sure if it's for the better or it might be for the better. It's nice to see that they're working on the things. And it actually, seems like it actually have become more. It seems to be a nice thing. Interesting. Nice to see. Anyway, but in any case, for example, in regards of Luther, it had some interesting information on Luther that I read in, and these was free sources and all that. So you didn't need to pay for, and there was some interesting things from Luther. There's probably a lot more interesting things from Luther. This was this huge document of Luther's things. And I'm mostly interested in Luther's late things. Of course, if it's in regards to the papacy and all that, I'm of course interested in that as well. I'm still reading the document, actually. This is something. Still have a lot of pages of this document that I have here. And Martin Luther, this is about, the Roman Catholic Church and the Mass and all that. Just gold, it's always. This is, the papacy and all these words that we don't know in our days and are not accustomed to. That's just wonderful. And he's really going against the Mass in these articles from 1537. Very interesting, very interesting. So I was actually reading these, like, for example, besides all this dragon tail, the Mass, dragon tail, actually goes to Revelation 12:3 and 22, apparently, in regards to this dragon's tail thing, and in regards to the keys from 1530, something he has written before that and all that. So, yeah, again, a lot of information on this doctrine. What happened now? Oh, yeah. Some things that. So a lot of information on that, and, it's a lot of the things that we have forgotten. Well, here we have in regards to the Chilias, that's the name for, in regards to those that believe in the 1,000 years kingdom, I think it is. Can I just copy paste it, really? Has they made it like, or is it locked? Can't even. Okay, apparently they haven't made it like I can copy paste it. I thought there was some, maybe not. But at least it seems to work better. But if I remember correctly, and they, the Roman Catholic Church, if I remember correctly, have accursed this doctrine and these people as like a Jewish doctrine in regards to the 1,000 years kingdom. The Roman Catholic insane institution was very early in regards to corruption, and we already see the first century that but we have problems already. Satan is already working to, dilute the truth. So in regards to the 1,000-year reign on earth is, it seems, I don't know how much material we have still on it. There might be information also from the opponents, but we have lost a lot of information from some of these Christians that was, chili-assed. It's very sad. And it's interesting, like, for example, Melito, which seems to have, his books seems to actually have been pretty popular. It seems they were around. And then apparently we don't pretty much in our days pretty much don't have access to them. That's sad. And that would be one of the sources I would be very interested in. And then we have another source that just also have been, and we actually, as I understand it, that source was actually accessible up to the Middle Ages. And apparently it got lost. It's like, what's going on, And we have one more source that would have been interesting that seems to have been lost. But anyway, we'll have to use what we have, and we still have a huge amount. So, yeah. Actually, I'm very surprised that it's actually running so smoothly, And I'm even recording. So, but again, lots of on Luther and all that. I think there's also a thing where what there's actually in this document, and there's a lot. You could probably use your whole life on just reading Luther, because he wrote so much. Here we have, for they are God's policemen and executioners. See, to impose law upon Christians is to tempt the devil, Zwingli. Well, what is this? No, I don't know how that hangs together, but something in regards to some articles and Zwingli. Again, I'm not sure what this goes back to. Anyway, here we have the Wittenberg theologians were instructed to complete their memorandum by, maybe it's in regards to Zwingli, where they are meeting up with Zwingli. I don't know. Oh well. I have something with egg as well. There we have Melanchthon. There is. Ooh, nice. Actually, this document there's more. Okay, so it's okay. It doesn't really. Okay, so it works like that. Okay. If I remember correctly, there's a huge, it's a huge document, where everything that is free from Martin Luther is put in. Everything that this guy has found that is freely available from Martin Luther in English, he has put in there. Here we have Luther's Small Catechism and Luther's Large Catechism. That's at least that's something I would like actually to read at some point. We have the Augsburg Confession. I printed that out as well. Now that's where Philip Melanchthon, and as I understand it, Luther was angry at Philip Melanchthon because he was not clear about the Antichrist, the Apology of the Augsburg Confession. I did wonder what that was. But of course, Martin Luther makes this statement that I have here printed out from 1537. And what's it called? The slings. What is it called? Let's see. And that, as I understand it, is in regards of directly against the papacy. So Luther could get, he got the, what shall we say, chance to just put down what he thought about, the system in his own words. And yet Melanchthon apparently comes and, again makes a document himself, which was then put to the document itself. It should actually be in the document that I have here. So again, very interesting reading. Let's see what it's called. The Smalcald Articles. And it is made in 1537, and then 1538, I think it is. It's released with some with an introduction and Melanchthon's own thing and all that, and it talks about that Melanchthon thought that that Martin Luther's was a little so he wrote his own, but then it seems like even in regards to the nature of Melanchthon, apparently his character is less hot than Luther, and even as I understand it, it says that Melanchthon uses pretty harsh, But anyway, I'll have to see if when I read it. The problem with Martin Luther's small catechism, as far the Ten Commandments, is still the Roman Catholics, where they removed the second commandment and split the last one into two, so they still have 10. But I don't know why Luther didn't fix that. But yeah, well, it would be interesting reading. That would actually be nice if I could just read it from here. Not in any edition of the Book of Concord. I have heard about that Book of Concord. I'm still not sure what it actually is. I mean, I should just take a copy thing of that and find out what it actually is. I think that was something in regards to these articles that I've just, have in paper form that was put in the Book of Concord or something like that. So. Also have some Danish sources, but it's in old Danish letters and, of course, old Danish way of speaking, so that doesn't really make it. Is that Chrysostom? He's a pretty much I read 8 sermons in regards against the Jews and all that. Just horrible. But actually, the program itself looks, pretty good. Looks promising. So that's nice. They have a huge amount of sources freely available. So it's just the only problem with this document is I need to figure out how to easily get around it and find the things I want to find. The third use of the law, 1, 2, 3, because again, it's a huge document. Huge document. You need to use there was something maybe about in regards of. Oh nope. Oh yeah, going back. Oh yeah, here we go. Other 6, law and gospel, good works, righteousness. Preface. Okay. That's, at least that will help get around the document. And uses the words, papist and all that. Again, we have more information about, the Augsburg Confession and all that. So much in regards of. And it's interesting, of course. That's the thing. The thing is, why don't we know these things? Luther's large and small catechism. Anyway, nice to see that it's going forward with some of these open source applications. I do wonder in regards of Ant Bible. I haven't really seen. That's one of these open source I use that for Josephus. You pretty much have everything, as I understand it, from Josephus. You don't even need to buy it. You just need to download the application and just download it. And that would be interesting reading as well, because that's from a Jew from the 1st century. I think it was from the 1st century anyway. Maybe it's because I don't know. Maybe it's the 2nd century. Anyway, but it's still very close. 1st or 2nd century. I can't remember. But that was this interesting thing that I actually found as well, which usually is not quoted, but that's in regards to an extract out of Josephus' discourse to the Greeks concerning Hades, and I was researching in regards to the realm of death and so forward. And I found a very interesting quote in one of the sections. I can't remember which it was, number 3 and number 4, but it talks about, well, yeah, it sounds very Christian. Let me say it like that. It talks about seemingly 2 gods. I can't remember the quote, but totally. But very interesting quote. Well, there's probably more that can be found of interesting things. And Josephus also, in some of his, goes through all the history of the Jewish history as well. So you get it from a perspective, from an early time, from a Jew, So that's interesting. So that's interesting reading as well, It's just, yeah. Why read about stupidity and, things that is of no importance when you can actually read something that actually, you can, yeah. And there is more than enough to read of things with, yeah. Then, of course, I have Accordance, and they're also working on their version. And it's kind of red. But it's, I don't know if they ever will make it less, but as you can see, it's slow. Actually, even if I'm recording, it actually seems not bad, but you can still feel it's not so. And I'm only looking at a book, and it still feels heavy on the. But again, I'm recording, so. But anyway, this is from Martin Luther as well. Against the Roman papacy and institution of the devil. You see, it's all over the Reformation. All over the Reformation. It's not only Luther. And this is actually in his late years. So this is all his experience from many, many years. As he died in 1546. So, and if you don't know what Luther thought about this system, just by the title, you have nearly 100 pages of, well, as they say in the introduction here, this treatise, the most bitter of Luther's polemic writings. So apparently they think it's the most bitter of Luther's polemic writings, is intimately related to the political power struggle between the Pope, as I call him, and Emperor, and so forward. But as I understand it, this book was released when the Council of Trent was opened up. And I think it was the other document I have from when was it from? 1541 or something like that. Where Luther talked about that, the council would probably never come around before he was dead. But it did begin before his death. but I think it went on for years after that. But he got his last. As I understand it, he actually wanted to write a book more. It's just so sad that he didn't get to write a second book. But I think it's this book he actually talks about that he wants to write a second book about it, about against the Roman papacy. But again, he never got to do that. So this is one of his last books. So, but as I understand, again, it was released on the opening of the Council of Trent, which also have a lot of curses against Protestants. So here it starts, and he starts out the most hellish father. So of course Jesus did say that that they had that some when he's talking to some of the Jews, he says that you have the devil as your father, because if you love God, you would love me, and so forward. So that's it's interesting. And do the user's most hellish father, the most hellish father. Yeah. And it goes on, and very interesting reading and all that, and yeah. He's still using the title Pope. I just call him the Pope. Pope. I just call him the Pope. I think that's more. Well, don't call anyone father on earth, right? So, and Pope, if I remember, is the so-called Pope is in, I think it's Latin for father or something like that. And in regards to the so-called Holy Father and all that, that's the unholy faker. And his so-called holiness, his outmost smelliness or fartiness or whatever. Anyway. Yeah, but not as fluently as the other programs, that's for sure. Accordance is very heavy, but again, I think it's still in beta mode or something like that. So they're still working on it, and it's So the only reason why I actually had it was in regards because this is not free sources. This Accordance is one of the big Bible applications, and I think I wanted the Aramaic and all that, and I was actually saddened to find out that the Aramaic is in Aramaic letters and not the Hebrew letters. I have no idea why they wouldn't, it just make it easier for people. It's the same letters. It's just, so just give me the Hebrew letters, instead of, I don't want to learn a whole new system of Aramaic and how to, when it's in some sense, you could just use the, nowadays Hebrew letters, but it's only the New Testament that they have fixed with that, and for that price, I was very, unhappy about it, because, it was a high price. Let's see here, Hebrew, Peshitta, New Testament, and all that. I'm not the only one that has complained on the forum about it, as I understand it. I don't know. Again, I don't know why they wouldn't. it shouldn't be that hard for them to do it. But again, maybe they just want to do it, make it more difficult for people to look into the Peshitta. Anyway, actually they have gotten, I don't remember that was actually, I don't remember the images, but anyway, let's see here. Syriac-Corotonius Gospel, Syriac-Sinaiticus Gospel, Peshitta OT tagged, and Peshitta pseudo-pictographic, and Peshitta parallel pseudographic tagged. Okay. Also, these are text. Also, Luther's work. I needed one book, and so I paid for it. I have another book that I needed, but I got it on a library, just to read. Yeah. And actually, I got the book that I needed in regards to this as well from the library, but I thought I didn't get it from the library, so I paid for it, so I would be, I didn't want to wait any longer. And then after I paid for it, I found out that they have pretty much have gotten the book for me. I do wonder where there's some thing here. Again, there's a lot of things and books and that and all that, and that's the problem. The information, there's so much information. There was 3 big Bible programs, and then of course there's the free Bible programs and all that. It takes a lot of time to actually learn these things. And of course you tend to also forget, when you do searches, Bible searches, you tend to forget how you do it if you don't keep it. If you don't use it, you will forget it and all that. And it's very annoying. But there's a lot of things that I don't even know why it has installed, Like devotional reading sounds like, I just want to have the Bible instead of, that's the thing I'm interested in. Actually, BibleWorks was one of the 3 big Bible programs that I actually had my eyes on to get. But they pretty much stopped the production. And I think they have some kind of plans, but I'm not I'm keeping an eye out for what they are going to do. Here we have more thing. Oh, Webster's Dictionary. Oh, it seems that some things have happened. But where do I find that's Greek tools? Is it really only in the text that I have here? But where's the Old Testament? Okay. So do I only have one book of that? Maybe. Yeah. Okay. So that's the problem here. I know very, very, very little of the Aramaic letters. And these are Aramaic letters. The problem also is that in regards of Aramaic, I think I've seen 4 different kinds of Aramaic letters. Now, much of it is actually the same in regards to the Aramaic, but there's still some slight variances in some of the letters. It just doesn't make it easier. And again, the same thing with the Hebrew, right? You have different kind of Hebrew. You have the pictographic, you have the standard square script that they use today. Then you have the other, the square, and then you have the script thing as well. And then you have Paleo Hebrew as well. So you have 4 kinds of ways to write letters in Hebrew. It just doesn't, it's not easy to, and it's the exact same letters. But it just, different ways of, writing it. And then you go to the Aramaic, and then I think it's 3 or 4, but I think it was 4 I actually have seen of variations of Aramaic, and that might be more. It's just like, it's like, oh my, make it a little easy for me. And again, paying so much money for this module, and then you just get, and they should easily be able, these people doing these things, and they should be easily exchange these letters with the Hebrew letters. It should be, not a big problem for them. Yeah, but apparently it is, because they haven't done it. So again, either I need to learn the Aramaic. It's the best. Well, it's not, but I wanted an Aramaic source. For example, if I need to begin to translate the beginning of the first book of Moses, and I want to look what the Aramaic says, I need a source for that, right? So I've heard something about something in regard. Oh yeah, the books, but I'm not sure if it would be nice to. Yeah, well, anyway, the to see what it actually says, but at least I have, like, I can push on the word and I can see, okay, beginning, and then I can go on the next one and okay, to create, okay, and God, okay. Well, hopefully I'll be better at Aramaic at some point and so forward, but yeah, a direct object or something, but it would have helped with letters that I knew, because the Aramaic is the same alphabet, in some sense, as the Hebrew. These Aramaic and Hebrew are like, what's it called, close, the tongues are, or the languages are close, similar. What's it called? Like Danish and Swedish and Danish and Norwegian and so forth. They are, what's it called, sister languages or something like that. I can't. So they have the same, in some sense, the same alphabet. They have the same letters. So they call it a slightly different, instead of, what's it called, Aleph, I can't really say Aleph maybe, or something like that. But anyway, it's the same, pretty much the same letters. 22 letters. So I have a New Testament actually where he actually have it in, but it seems like there's also different dialects in Aramaic. That doesn't make it easier, because I've seen two where it's like, that's a variation here from this to this. I think it's in the New Testament according to this, and then taking the other guy that I have book form. That is actually a variation, and then and that might just be a dialect or something like that, in regards of variation in Aramaic. But come on, why not have some Hebrew? I don't know if they're going to update the module and then you need to pay for them. I'll have to see. But I think it's a very important thing to have the Aramaic. It's like a lost, gold mine in some sense. That is a very nice thing to be able to, It was translated, as far as I understand, in the 1st century. So that's very close to, and we both have the Old Testament and the New Testament. So, well, 22 books of the New Testament anyway. That's the missing 5, which we only have in Greek. We do have, but I do have Revelation in, was it Hebrew and Aramaic or something, and anyway, I haven't looked at it as but I have pretty much, still have a lot of ideas. I do wonder if I'm ever going to, you know, I have a way of looking into things and not being so good to complete things, you know. Well, hopefully the point I really want, I would, I'm not satisfied with the translations that we have. It's not that they are, that they're not usable or anything like that. Absolutely usable, but I just, for example, where they take out the name of God in the Danish versions in our days, and that's just totally unacceptable. And as far as I know, we had a Jew, that became a Christian in Denmark, and he became was a priest, and used his life, and he translated the whole Bible, and he used the name Jehovah, and but besides that, in regards of a more neutral translator without an agenda to try to take out the divinity of Jesus Christ, like in regards to the false witnesses. So that's the so-called Jehovah's Witnesses. They have the name in that translation as well, but they try to write out the divinity of Jesus Christ because they do not believe that Jesus is God. So they do not believe that Jesus is Jehovah. So, but okay, well, anyway, so just something to be aware of. But besides that, we have this, and it's kind of old. So you also have old letters again. I do have there's actually newer versions of that Bible. So I could actually, I could jump that step and just buy a version, a new edition of his version, and not have that problem. It would be nice to have as a thing to just look into sometimes. The more sources I have to have available to, when you're doing things and you need some, if you, yeah. So, and just start from the beginning of, just already the first chapter. You can just use so much time on the first chapter. And if I can go through it in Hebrew, in Greek, in Aramaic, in and Samaritan Hebrew, in regards to the what's it called, the Dead Sea Scrolls Hebrew, all these sources, and you just go through the first chapter. Just gold mine of information that we have available today that they didn't have in the past. And I can look on every single thing and all that, and have in regards to translation, and it's just gold. Anyway, so all the Targums, even just to check that up as well, and it's gold. But of course you need all the sources and all that. You need to and in regards to Bible Works, that seemed to be the tool that was really focused on. And I had one of these free software that's portable as well, so I can actually have it on a USB stick and all that. And it's a very, very great Bible program, actually. But I actually set it up as Bible Works, so if I ever bought Bible Works, at least I would have somewhat of the same, because I actually liked Bible Works setup. Actually, Accordance was too much Mac for me. And that was issues in the Windows version. And then there was Logos, which I also have Logos Bible here. But it's like huge, gigantic, filled with a lot of graphical. It's just not really me. But I have it, and some use all the three programs. I guess the people that yeah. I guess it's the same thing in regards of and Bible and Bishop and Bible Time Mobile. One program have this and one program have that, and so, yeah. And thereby you have three different programs, even if those three programs actually use a lot of the same sources. But Bible Time has sources that the two others doesn't. And it's just... Then we have My Sword Bible. That's pretty much the best Bible program for the mobile in regards of... That's a whole... the problem is I got issues with the program where it began to fail and all that. And when you're sitting there and researching and all that, you don't want to, get out of the stream in some sense. And when things, when there's an error and all that, you tend to get out of if you're in a good stream. It's very annoying, but anyway. So, yeah, well. So, I need to set up, I have a possibility, I have a lot of ideas. The problem is, getting the time for all of it and all that. But I have a program that I need to look into as well. And as I understand it, I can actually set it up so it can actually help me in regards of editing. If I begin to fix, Bible thing and all that. I need to set it all up, and I need to talk to the creator of My Word, or maybe some of these guys in regards of the free stuff, if they have a forum or ISC or something like that. Need to look, also, in regards to the material, if I get started doing these things and begin to work it, everything needs to be free. Everything I make needs to be freely available for everyone. And that's just, no buying or anything like that, not just, like a lot of the free sources on these things, they're made by, Christians that, so it's wonderful, because we can build on each other's information, just instead of paying money, like ransom, that you need to pay a ransom to get the information that I have found or whatever. It just stops the process of getting forward, So, yeah. Let's see, Logos Bible. I'm blue now. Oh, maybe it's more, purple maybe, but blue, purple, whatever. On Logos, in regards of the Greek for word. Oh, I'm black. Well, it is, okay, well, it's loading. Again, I haven't really used much of it, so I don't have anything that I have on this, in this program where it's like, necessary, where it's only found in this program and all that. But I have it, and then I can look further into it and dig into it and see, if there's anything of interest. But again, it's, if I can just get the things that I already have an idea what I need and so forward. I think it's just to get it. The Aramaic is pretty much, it's huge. It's expensive. I think there's some free, you use the time to yeah, but anyway. Yeah. And again, paying for the things and all that. It's not like I don't want to pay with it, but it's not really. You don't really have the resources for paying huge amount of money, for things. That's just how it is. Sepharia, it has some Jewish sources. It actually has the Targums, which is in Aramaic. It's like commentary, like, close it down. Let's try again. It also has some of Jewish mysticism and all that. Of course, I don't care about that. Here we have Targum, Jerusalem. I can't remember how it went and all that. Some of them are translated into English. Some of them are not translated into English. If there's other sources that are better in regards to the Targum, there might be some in regards of accordance, but you probably need to pay for it and all that. I do have like a wish list, I think, on accordance and all that. I'll use whatever I can get. But as we can see here, that's pretty much translated, but that's probably closing had closed. Okay. There should be some of them that hasn't been translated, but maybe they are translating more and more. That would be nice if they are. But I've seen things that is not translated. But for example, if I go to Genesis, let's see what they have of Genesis. Genesis 18. So maybe they don't have Genesis 1. I don't know in regards of. See. Let's see Genesis 1. Let's see if there's anything. Oh yeah, great. So this is like as I understand it, like a commentary, the Targums. I just, here we have the Yod Yod, which is, pretty much in regards of Yehovah, instead of, it's a little weird, but actually it's also interesting in regards of the Matthew, Hebrew Matthew. They think they use 2 Yods as well in regards to representing the name of God. So that would mean that the name of God is in the Matthew Hebrew. Was there like 20 Hebrew manuscripts or more or something like that in regards of Hebrew, which of course would be interesting to go through. The same thing as the Aramaic as well, because in the Aramaic we have the places where the name should be, which is taken out of the Greek. So, and that's interesting, of course, because if the Aramaic was translated from the Greek, why is the pointers where the name should be in the Aramaic? Of course, the name could have been in the Greek at some point in the beginning and was taken out later on. But, So, but in any case, whatever the case is, the Aramaic does have the places where the name of God is. Maya. And that is interesting. And again, the Aramaic can also be used to verify some of the places where the Hebrew Masoretic text has taken out the name of God. We have another Jew that did research on that and used like 30 years or something like that collecting information. And as I understand it, he actually made a Hebrew Bible of his own. And he became a Christian as well. And as I understand, he became a Christian because he saw that they had taken the name of God out some places. Well, 134 places in regards of changing it to Adonai, and I can't remember the number where they changed it to Elohim. But he found he was looking into Hebrew manuscripts, as far as I understand it, where he talks about here's the name, and this name is not over here in this manuscript, and so it must have been a huge job actually to do it. They didn't have, I don't think they had computers at that point. So in any case, so he ended up making his own version of the Hebrew, and that of course would be interesting as well as having it. I did find his, the PDF was in regards of the material where he goes through the different Hebrew and get some information, and the 134. So I got it verified and all that because anyway. But as I understand, he also made a Hebrew Bible from. It would be interesting to see that. To see what he has to say about the things. Just to have it as a reference. But anyway, the Targums again, commentary and all that, so they probably stray, more from the scriptures original. But it is interesting, and the word of the Lord created man in his likeness. In the likeness of the presence of the Lord, he created him. Do wonder in regards to the Lord. Is it as actually in the presence of Jehovah? Okay. So, and the word of, let's see if we can actually, it's probably this one in regards to the Dalet and the two Yods. So, it was probably be, and the word of Jehovah created man in his likeness, in the likeness of the presence of, again, that probably is this Yod, of Jehovah, he created him, the male and his yoke fellow, he created them. Isn't it interesting that they have the word of Jehovah? And that's the thing that Josephus, the Josephus is talking about. I think it's the word he actually said, God the word. Yeah, I think it was God the word here. I have the quote on Facebook, or I'll just read the you showed you where it was pretty much. If you read the whole, you will find in regards of where it sounds really Christian. Anyway, I have it on my Facebook as well and posted us on YouTube there, but of course that is removed and all that. But anyway. So Josephus, he was from the 1st century, I think. Yeah, it's hard to remember everything. But Josephus talks about, God the Word will judge the worlds, that God has given him, that he is going to judge. And of course, then it's interesting to see the Targums as well talking about, that the word of Jehovah created man in his likeness. The Word? And who is the Word? Well, according to John, the Word became flesh and walked among his own. So who is the Word? Who is that? Who is that? Well, if we're going by what John says, the Apostle John, well, he would, he equivalent the word as Jesus Christ or Yeshua. So if we're going by that, it's, and, the the Son, Yeshua, of Jehovah created man in his likeness. So I think we see, in the Jewish scriptures here, the Son and the Father already. And of course, we also have the Spirit represented in the first part of the book of Moses, of Genesis. So, but it's just interesting that the Jews would, translate it as such. And as I understand it, it's not the only place that they, so. And we have, and Adam became a soul of life. Let's see. Vehava Adam, and that's Aramaic as I understand it actually. And I can, because it's actually Hebrew letters, I'm not good at Hebrew, but, I'm actually, but in regards of, I don't know many of the words and all that, but, still, I'm able to somewhat, read it, but not sure what, there's a lot of words that I still don't know and all that. But anyway, Vehava Adam Nefash, it's like, I can't remember if there's a shin and a sin, because the shin can, if the dot here and dot here, I can't remember if it's a little, I'm a little rusty, There's the thing when you go into other subjects, you tend to forget a lot of other things, it's very annoying. But anyway, Vahava Adam Nafash, I would guess, Dehaya. The Haya sounds like the Hebrew Haya in regards of, no, maybe, no, okay, well, but no, forget it. Veyilan da'ata kol man de'achal mine mafrish bein tav levish, something like that. Okay, yeah, well, here we go again. Unesiv, and then we go with the yod and yod. And you see here in the English translation, they just translate it as Lord, because then, don't dare to use the name of God, but it represents the name of God. And Jehovah God, that would be Elohim, apparently Elohim, seems, must be. In Hebrew it's Elohim, right? So that's plural, by the way. But anyway, Elohim apparently took the man, okay, Adam, that's man, well, actually it's, when you have Ish, they usually translate that as man and Isha as woman. So Adam might more likely be earthling, maybe. But anyway, still something, I need to, it was taken from the earth, right? And, you in the Hebrew, you get, there's much more, you lose information every time you translate from one language to another. Ve'ashre Beginta, something like that. Oh well, anyway. But again, just interesting to have the sources. So I found this from a Jewish source, and it does look like they actually have, but I did find in, sources that wasn't translated, and I think they are on accordance and all that. Oh, closed down again. That's annoying. We have the Tanakh, Mishnah, Talmud, Midrash, Halacha, Kabbalah, liturgy, philosophy, Tanakh, and more. Um, Again, that's a lot of the things that I'm not that. Here we have the apocryphy. Was that something? Oh yeah, we have the apocryphy in Aramaic, and yeah, that was something about the name of God also being. I can't remember. That was something interesting in regards to the apocryphy. Anyway, that's the thing. The more data, and we have so much data and all. Of course, there is also interesting information from Eritrea or something like that. But that's, that's a whole nother language as well. But as I understand it, some of the oldest sources of the New Testament is found in that language. But again, there's a subject, something to look into in regards of. Well, it would be interesting again to have that source to, because the scriptures would of course go around and being translated and all that. So again, having more sources, one could, in some sense, follow the, and fix issues. If, for example, you have the Greek text where the name is not there, and then you have the Aramaic where the name is there, and then you have the Hebrew where the name is sometimes here and there and all that, and they just pretty much just correct it. We also know that if you take the Greek Old Testament, the name has been removed. Again, but if you go to the Hebrew, the name is there. And then, the name was removed a couple, sometimes here and there. Well, we can, correct that as well. We can use other sources for that. So, and get more, it's just do it, it's just time. And and a working brain. I really would like to just the first part of Genesis. Just comparing every single. There is so much just in the first chapter of Genesis. It's just. Whoa! Oh, it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. So, yeah. But of course, in regards of all these versions that we now have here and there, that can help us in regards of course, we also have the with it. I think they have hidden those, but as I understand it, we actually have a couple of the Bibles of the Waldensians, but it's, what shall we say, hidden away for the public. As I understand it, I haven't. There was some talking about it and all that. They should exist still, and I do wonder why. Apparently, it's not able to. We are not able to get them in Bible programs, as I understand it. There was something about it that was, that some of these Waldensians versions was actually Latin versions. It would be very interesting in regards to like when they, something, in regards of refuting the Roman Catholic Church, things and all that. And those versions would be interesting to have a look at as well, of course. But as I understand it, these, so-called funny enough, has not been provided in the big Bible programs, which is very curious. And I read something about that, again, I've been outside these things. I've been doing other things and researching history and all. So getting a little back to it now. I can feel it's just, oh yeah. There's still a lot of things to do but if I just could get started and begin a little, and just for example the first part of the Bible, or if I could just begin there, and again, but it's still learning Hebrew, learning all these things. There's a long ways yet. Yeah, actually looks a little blue. Well, maybe not. So, but in regards of Jewish mysticism, keep far away from that. Tanakh, Mishnah, I can't even remember. I knew a lot of, but of course, if I'm ever going to Jerusalem, I have a lot of questions. And, when you have Jews around you, it's, that knows directly, you can just ask them. And I tend to be pretty outspoken, with strangers. It actually seems easier with strangers than when you get to know people, I don't know why. It also, of course, depends on the mood that you are in. Sometimes some days are better than others, Sometimes you're up on the top of the world, and other times you're just down in the basement, But that's a halalka something. Ben Israel. Okay. But primary, I have this because of oh man, that's just Targums. The Targums here. Aramaic Targum, Onkelos, Tafsir Rasak, Targum Jerusalem, Targum Jonathan, and Targum Neofiti, and I can't remember all the details of these, but they have different parts of the Bible, if I remember correctly. And again, it's a little time since again I can't remember everything. You tend to forget things. Not sure what this is. Oh, this is commentary. Okay. Commentary from a lot of. Again, you have to be careful of commentary, of course. I don't really like using, just, yeah. But sometimes I have used commentary, Bible commentary. If I have something that I'm thinking, this is, and I want to see what others have, concluded. Now, for example, that was in regards of Daniel. I wanted to see what others had concluded, and Newton apparently, Isaac Newton, the scientist, was pointing at that this was in regards of Rome, because there was two ideas about this, and I think he was probably correct in regards to that, but anyway, I can't remember but it's in regards of the horn that comes out and all that. But yeah, in any case, so sometimes there's something, and of course, in regards of the book of which is actually interesting in regards to the standard, the best Bible program for the mobile don't have this commentary. And I do wonder why. I think that might be a reason for. But anyway, the commentary is on Bishop instead. So even if my sword doesn't have it, Bishop have the commentary of the Geneva Bible. And the Geneva Bible is pretty much, the first Protestant Bible in some sense that really got popular. And I still don't, but as far as I understand it, the Geneva Bible was made illegal, and then the King James Version took over. but I have to verify that. I would like to see some verification on that information that I got, and I can't remember from where. But of course, if the Geneva Bible was made illegal, well, then of course the King James version would then take over. But what would be interesting in regards to the Geneva Bible, the King James version and the Geneva Bible are, there's a lot of the same thing in them. But the Geneva Bible had commentary. And as I understand it, some of the King James versions also had commentary, as I understand. But anyway, in the beginning. But the Geneva Bible, was written by Protestants, and the commentary in regards of pointing to the Antichrist and all that might not have been so, Satan might not have been too happy about that. In any case, where's the... And now we have a problem again. Where's the thing that jumped down last time so I could, fix to the menu? Okay, well, oh, there we go. Okay, you need to put, okay, what is this? Yeah, things have changed a little, that's for sure. But the thing is, you can, by this program, you can just have the Geneva here, for example. And for the, okay, and then you can take View Bibles with Commentary Assist. Or you can take the King James Version and all that. And there you go. This is brilliant, that you can actually sit here if you want to, for example, Genesis or the Book of Revelation would be very interesting to actually see the notes of the Geneva Bible, to see what they believed. And just go through it, just to see what did they actually come to conclude about it. And they might be totally incorrect. But so in regards to the Geneva Bible, and yeah, that's, because it's a Protestant, it's, as I understand it, the first Bible that is actually also a teaching tool as well. So it's, it's the first, well, to help you grow and all that, having these what's it called, research Bible version or something like that, where you have these helps from the from the Protestants, from the helping the others, trying to to grow quicker. So anyway, I think my voice is pretty much done, and I should get to bed. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of good tools, And here we are in regards to the King of Israel and all that. And it's, again, there's a lot of the Bible that I, to research and all that. I'm not sure if it actually is just probably better to read the Bible. I don't know if they have taken information from other sources as well, but they want to use ads. You can actually pay for an ad-free version. Is that from an update or something? That I remember it was free. Okay. Well, whatever. Let's see. Solomon, David, Ark of the Covenant, Queen of Sheba, Herod the Great, Star of David. I don't wonder what they have of. Oops. Oh, so here we have ads. The star is used in the occult. but I don't know. It's a little hard. But I do know the star is used in the occult, as above, so below, one of these occult doctrines. And when you have above as below, or you have like a yin yang, I guess, in regards of one of the pictures you can find in regards of the star, you can see a Zeus and his reflection and all that. But anyway, as above, as below is one of these occult doctrines as well. And I guess also in regards to the union of the feminine and the masculine and all that, just. Anyway, hate those ads. But again, you can use a lot of time. Yeah. Bible history game, I guess, was just actually, I guess it's it's one of you have these pictures, and it seems like he's putting more pictures in it. It was more in regards to like the 10 plagues and all that, but I found music for the 10 plagues as well, written by the same guy that made the Messiah, the music for the Messiah. Also had in regards of Israel in Egypt. I just haven't found a good version yet but it would be nice as a help to listen to the music, and maybe also getting an help with the 10 plagues in the. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, my voice is broken and I'll stop now. I'll have a good one, all of you. Well, read the Bible. Be careful of Satan, and stay close to Jesus Christ, or Yeshua HaMashiach. May Jehovah bless you, and may Yeshua be that most precious pearl, and may the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, be in us all. Amen. Have a good one, all of you. Bye bye. Shalom.